Live, love, and lead. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching us around the world. My name is Samuel A. Bakutana. I am a certified executive coach, an award-winning leadership consultant, a global speaker, and an author of 16 books in the areas of leadership, business, education, and relationships. I am the CEO of Inspired Leaders International, where we empower leaders to be the best versions of themselves. And I am also the provincial president of the Fathers Union. Today, we have an interesting focus of this program. This is the Inspired Family Leader program. We are going to be talking about being a man of purpose, becoming a man of purpose. That is what we are talking about. Becoming a man of purpose. So I would like you to call whoever is near you, your husband, your father, your son, and so on and so forth, to come close by, because we are talking about becoming a man of purpose. Now, let's begin from this point that is very critical. Today, we are facing a world of choices. And very many men have not realized that they have not become men. They are only males. And I know that is something that many of us who are watching may wonder what that is all about. The big problem we have today is that we have many males and very few men. And I want you to think about that. Having many males and very few men. You know, to be a male is by chance. You were born a male. You did not choose to become a male. Becoming a male is by birth. But becoming a man is by choice. And so it's one thing to be a male, it is another thing to be a man. So that tells you that manhood begins with choice. Recently, I was speaking somewhere to a group of men and I asked one question. When did you become a man? You needed to have been there to see the kind of answers that we had in the room. And let me ask you the same question. If you are a man watching me right now, I have this one question I want you to think about. Today we are going to be doing serious reflections. When did you become a man? Was it when you started to know that you are male? Was it when you married? When you got a wife? Was it at birth? When did you become a man? Was it when you got your first child? Was it when you made a female expectant pregnancy? Was it when you built your first house? When did you become a man? Some years ago, I was reading a book by a gentleman called Craig Hill, and it's called The Power of a Parent's Blessing. And he introduced me to the concept of the culture of blessing, especially in the culture of the Jewish community. That in the Jewish community, by culture, they bless one another. Where I come from, I've been thinking about it so much of recent. I realize we have more of a culture of cursing than a culture of blessing. Now, in the Jewish culture, I came to learn that people are blessed at 7 stages of life. And for them, this culture of blessings answers the question of when one becomes a man. Stage 1 is at conception. When this woman gets to know that she has conceived a pregnancy, when this man gets to know that the wife has conceived, at that moment they proclaim certain blessings upon the conception. Stage 2 is during the time when the child is growing in the womb. So during that time of pregnancy, particularly the man keeps proclaiming positive words upon the child in the womb as a form of blessing. I bless you, the child in this womb. I bless you that your life in the womb is going to be safe and secure. You're going to be protected and all is well in your mother's womb. And then stage number 3 is at birth. Immediately the child comes out of the mom's womb, particularly the father lays his hands on this child and proclaims a blessing upon him or upon her, depending on the gender of the child, whether a boy or a girl, biologically, anatomically, at birth. I bless you, my child, that you are going to grow. You will never die young. You will never get married to a fool. Your life will be a life of meaning and purpose. You will be significant in your life. You are going to be a man, a woman of impact and influence at birth. And then stage number 4 is during boyhood or girlhood, so to speak. Around 5 years, 6, 7 years. Officially, this child is once again blessed in a mega manner by proclaiming particular words upon this child. Stage number 5 is when the child is getting into adolescence. 11, 12, 13 years of age. In fact, at that point, that's the critical point of manhood initiation. At around 12, 13, this young man, this boy who has been a child, is now a boy. There is a function that is put in place. And people are invited to this function of blessing this boy and initiating him into manhood. So people come, a function is put there, is prepared, and then this boy stands in the midst of this huge audience. And the father proclaims manhood initiation blessings upon him. And he says, "Today, my son, you are no longer a boy. Today you are transitioning into a man. And this is what it means. That you will no longer be doing this and this and this and this. You will start to do this and this and this and this. And the things that are being spoken upon his life are not so much issues of what to do in the house and what not to do. They are about who to become. Going forward, my son, you have to grow into a man of responsibility. And this is what it means. Secondly, you would have to start to think of being a person of significance. And this is what it means. Thirdly, you would have to be a man of influence. And this is what it means. From today onwards, you would have to ensure that you do 3 M's. You would have to mentor, you would have to model for others, you would have to minister to somebody. Going forward, my son, you are going to follow the 3 G's. You will govern, you will guide, and you will guard. As a guard, you would have to offer protection over this family. When I am here, I will be playing that role with you by my side. When I am not in this house, my son, you have to ensure this family is guarded. And the governance, you would have to offer leadership. And the guidance, you would have to offer direction. So this son, at 12, 13, 14 years, is initiated officially into manhood. And when the father has finished speaking to him and proclaiming the words of blessing upon his life, he calls upon the people that he has invited at this initiation function and says, is there somebody who has something positive to speak to my son? It has to be something positive. It's not a culture of cursing. It is a culture of blessings that initiates a boy into a man. So that is stage number 5. Now, stage number 6 is at the marriage. Not actually marriage, at the wedding, because those two words are different. On the wedding, this young man is once again given a blessing to take him into the marriage. And the man has been walking with him ever since around 11, 12, 13 years. In fact, let's step back a little bit and I explain something here. From the day the boy or the girl is born up to around 11, 12, the child is largely in the hands of the mother for nurturing, that tender loving care, the nurture. From around 12, I'm still talking about the Jewish culture, particularly. From around 12, the child is largely in the hands of the man, no longer for nurturing, but for training. Now, one of the biggest challenges why most men are not up to the task, is because they have been nurtured through childhood and then also through teenagehood and adolescence. They are still being nurtured instead of being now introduced to the season of training. So now, fast forward, stage number 6, on the wedding, the man is now handed over to move out of this house and go and start his own family. I have attended a number of weddings. I have been wedded myself. I have attended a number of weddings, and you hear speeches that people give at weddings and you shudder. Or that a man stands up to say to his son, is my son, you've seen me marry your mother, so please now go and also marry well. Na kwente, I now give you a cow. You see, a cow won't build the marriage, but the power of a father's blessing will change something in the life of this young man that is now transitioning into a fully fledged man of his own, leading his own family. Remember, this program is called the Inspired Family Leader Program. And today we are focusing on becoming a man of purpose. So before we touch on the word purpose, let's first say something serious about this word man. So the father says, my son, as you get into marriage now, I bless you with the blessing of offsprings. This will not be a barren home. You will produce children. Your children will bring you gain, not pain. Your children will not be a source of tests, but a source of testimonies. Your wife will be a wife and not a knife. And you will become a husband and not a hammer. I bless you that you will not be a failure in your adulthood, but you will live a responsible adulthood. Your manhood will be a healthy type of masculinity. I bless you with wealth, great wealth, and happiness. You will be a man of impact and significance. Your life will be a life of meaning. And then after saying all that, he can now add, I have now given you 22 cows, and so on and so forth. And so this man has already been groomed into becoming a real man. And he now leads his family. He knows he must govern the home, offer it leadership. He knows he must guide the home, offering it direction. He knows that he must guard this home, offering it protection that is holistic. Physical protection, giving shelter and all that, making sure the family is living in a well-secured place. Protection in form of the social protection, the kind of friendships that the children are getting into, the kind of people they allow in their home. Emotional protection, the things that they watch on the TV at home, the music they listen to in the home, the kind of environment and climate, relational climate in the home for emotional hygiene. All that is protection. The man ensures that he works on that. And so fast forward, the last stage is stage number 7. This time, it's no longer the man, blessing the children, but now it's a dramatic reversal. The children bless the parents in their old age. And it is so prestigious. It is something coveted. Even people talk about it all over the place, and they said, you know what? So and so's children are going to officially bless him. They are going to bless the mother. They are going to bless the father. An official function. They invite people, they come, and then the children line up, whether they are 2 children or 1 child or 5 children, depending on the children that this man and the wife produced and have looked after responsibly over the last couple of decades. So the first child stands up and says, my dad, for the last 42 years of my life as the firstborn, I have seen you do this, do this, do this, do this. And so I want to not only thank you for the work you've done in my life, but I want to bless you. Daddy, I also bless you that in your old age, that you have now gone in, you are now 69 years, you are now 65 years, you are going to have good health. You will not have frail, weak health. You will be provided for. You will die a satisfied man filled with fulfillment in his life. And then a second born comes and proclaims, blessings upon this man. And so on and so forth. A culture of blessings that also helps boys to transition into men. And who will finally end up becoming men of purpose. As a man, you are not here forever. And when as I say you are not here forever, I mean that you won't live on earth for the next 300 years. Soon and very soon, you and I will be gone. We won't live on earth forever. So that's why it is important to think on matters of legacy. What will I be remembered for after I have gone, after I have left? And don't only think about legacy in terms of, what people will remember you for when you have died. Even before you're dead, every day you are crafting your legacy through your actions, your words, your choices, your decisions, and so on and so forth. No one is here forever. Think about legacy. Number 2, no one is powerless concerning their destiny. No one is powerless concerning their destiny. As a man, you are not powerless concerning how your future will turn out to be. Many times we let life just happen on us as men. We give up, we resign in life. We just go back home, sit down and look at the wife, look at the children, look at ourselves and have no plan because somehow we have been beaten by life. You meet life in a corner and it squeezes you. And it removes all hope. It removes all certainty. It removes all assurance out of your life. And so you stay as a man who has no hope. And so you feel that you can do nothing about your tomorrow. You can do nothing about life. You can do nothing about the future. You can do nothing about your destiny. But I want to tell you that no one is powerless concerning their destiny. We may face challenges, we may go through storms and so on and so forth, but you are not powerless concerning your destiny. You can do something as a man concerning the destiny of your life, concerning the destiny of your marriage, and concerning the destiny of your family. You have the power to do something about it. And now, number 3, which is going to be my most important point of focus, is that no one is here for nothing. So number 1, no one is here forever. Think about legacy. Number 2, no one is powerless concerning their destiny. So think about responsibility. And number 3, no one is here for nothing. So think about purpose. Why are you here? Why are you here on earth? There is a gentleman called Simon Sinek. Simon, S-I-N-E-K, Sinek. He wrote a book called Start With Why. Many times as men, we want to start with what, start with when, start with how, start with where, start with who. And we fail to start with why. Sometimes we even never come to why in our personal lives as men. You're asking of what to do. You're asking of when to go somewhere. You're asking of who to marry. You're asking the what, when, who, where questions. And you have never looked at the question of why and you face it. What is purpose? Purpose is the why of things. Purpose is the why of things. Purpose is the reason of existence. When you say the purpose of a chair, you're talking about why the chair exists. If you say the purpose of a phone, you're talking about the reason why it was manufactured. When you say the purpose of a car, you're talking about the reason why somebody decided to manufacture it. So therefore, when we say your purpose as a man, we are saying what is the reason for your existence? Have you found out why you exist? Why do you exist? Now, you need to know, and I will be talking about it a little bit much more in the coming few minutes. You need to know that if you want to know the purpose of a guitar, you don't ask the guitar. You ask the manufacturer. So keep that at the back of your mind as we continue this conversation. Now, becoming a man of purpose begins with you knowing some 6 important facts about purpose. Number 1, the greatest truth is that everything has a reason for existence. That's number 1. A man of purpose knows the greatest truth, that everything has a reason for its existence. And when I say everything, I am using this word in the broadest sense of things. Everything, including even everyone. A man of purpose knows that he himself has a reason for existence. Even if you have not yet discovered it, even if you don't know what it is, but you should at least first believe that it is there. That you were created for a purpose. You are not an accident. Even the marriage you have as a family leader is not an accident. The children you produced are not accidents. Even if they may cause you pain, even if they may strain you. A man of purpose knows that everything has a reason for its existence and everyone has a reason for their existence. Fact number 2 is about the greatest disaster. The greatest disaster is not death, but a life without a purpose. So if you want to know a disastrous man, don't ask who died. You ask who has no purpose. That is a tragic man. A man without a purpose is a dangerous man. I remember when I was going to marry my beautiful wife, Miss Universe, the queen of my heart, Honorable Charity, Bakutana. One time I invited her to my office where I was working from, and that time I had a desktop computer on the table, and I showed her some file. I opened the file on the computer and just said, these are some of the things I think I will be working on in the future. This was just a friend, but I already had caught a vision in her life as somebody who would become my wife. 11 pages on the computer, A4 size. So she read through, and the rest is history. We've been married for about 1.5 decades, close to 1.5 decades now. The moment you come into contact with a person who has no purpose in life, just know you have gotten in touch with a tragedy, a calamity in the making. A life lived without purpose is the greatest tragedy on earth, not death. A man of purpose knows that. Number 3 is about the greatest failure. A man of purpose knows that the greatest failure is not failure to hit a target. The greatest failure is succeeding in the wrong assignment. A man of purpose knows that the greatest failure is succeeding in the wrong assignment. Many of us men, we are busy pursuing things. We are pursuing many things. We are pursuing ideas. We are pursuing concepts. We are pursuing wealth. We are pursuing women. We are pursuing. But we have not yet discovered the reason for our existence so that we can pursue it. So we are still in the realm of the greatest failure. And you know we are succeeding at different things. You find that as a man, you bought your good car. So you say, I succeeded at that. Maybe you get married. You say, well, the man is succeeding. He even got a wife. Probably you are promoted at your workplace. You are now the head of department of mortgage banking. Big titles. You are the deputy director. You are the chief executive officer. You are the human resource manager. You are the general manager. You are all these things in the professional world. Or you are the chairman LC2, local council leader. You are the district chairperson. You are the councillor. And so you feel that you are succeeding because you have a position. But then you realize that all these things you are pursuing, actually in the bigger scheme of things, these are not things that you are supposed to be doing. So you are succeeding, but in a wrong assignment. That is the greatest failure. I have seen this in the life of many men. I remember about 10 years ago. Yeah, about 10 years ago. I was seated across a coffee table with a gentleman who was making 50 years, who had just made 50 years a week before our meeting. And he looked at me and he said, do you know what, Samuel? I feel that I have wasted 5 decades of my life. I said, what? And this was a close person, a close friend to me, who was working with me in life at that time and helping me to make sense of a number of things in life. So I said, what's that about? And he said, I have spent the last about 50 years of my life fighting battles I was not supposed to fight. I have just realized that my life was supposed to be about empowering young leaders. It was quite an emotional moment for me, looking at this elder of mine, saying that he has been succeeding for 50 years in the wrong assignments, quote unquote, wrong assignments. How many men have climbed the proverbial corporate ladder only to reach the tallest or the highest rung on that ladder in their professional life, and they discover that this ladder has been leaning against the wrong wall all along, and they have to come down again when they are 60 years of age, when they are 59 years of age, when they are 62 years of age. After retirement is when they are getting this ladder to start to place it on the right side of life, of the wall of their life. A man of purpose knows that the greatest failure is not failure, it is success, but in the wrong things. So the things that are preoccupying you as a family leader, are they things that are actually supposed to be preoccupying you? That's a big question. Now, fact number 4 is about the greatest discovery. The greatest discovery is not hitting the jackpot. The greatest discovery is not exploring out of adventure and you come across a gold mine. The greatest discovery is not coming up with a new model or framework that will be taken on by the whole world and you become famous. The greatest discovery is not knowing that your wife is pregnant. The greatest discovery is the discovery of the reason why you exist. The greatest discovery is the discovery of purpose. So a man of purpose knows that the greatest discovery is not discovering that he has been promoted and so the salary is going to be doubled. No. A man of purpose knows that the greatest discovery is discovering his purpose in life. And you know, somehow, by nature, men, we are so curious. We are quite a curious species of Homo sapiens. We are curious. And our curiosity takes us into many things. Our curiosity makes us to try out many things. Our curiosity, curious. We want to discover things. We want to explore. And so we are always out there to discover something. That's how we even end up going to discover the wrong things. Because of that natural curiosity in a man. But a man of purpose knows that the greatest thing he should be curious about is why he exists. The greatest discovery, my brothers and the sisters who are watching, is the discovery of purpose. Fact number 5 is about the greatest effectiveness. The greatest form of effectiveness is not doing things the fastest way. That sounds like efficiency. The greatest form of effectiveness in the life of a man is not building the house as soon as possible. The greatest form of effectiveness in the life of a man is not getting a job quickly. The greatest form of effectiveness in the life of a man is doing that he was supposed to do. If you are doing what you were created to do, you are becoming effective. Whether the pace is quick or quite slow, as long as you are on the right path, doing the things you were supposed to do on earth, doing the things you are supposed to do as a man, you are being effective. Many times, we get so concerned about the speed at which we are progressing in life. And many men have been so depressed and stressed and fatigued by the rate of progress concerning some goals and aspirations in their life. I was talking with a friend of mine recently, and he was asking me and saying, Sam, you see, I have toiled, I have done all that I could. I have worked on this, I have worked on this, I have done this, I have done this, I have done this. But I don't see the money. I feel frustrated. Why am I working? Sam, I'm still like a poor man. My family is struggling. I struggle to pay fees for my children. The other time I was in a big confusion and quagmire with my wife. That's what the gentleman was sharing with me. He was feeling like the pace of progress in his life is slow. But guess what? I can assure you, this gentleman is on the right path of life. He is pursuing purpose of his existence. It's better for you to go slow while you are on the right path than to hurry in the wrong direction. Let me say that again. As a man, as a husband, as a father, as a family leader, it's better for you to be maybe slow in the rate of your progress, but while you are on the right road, on the right track in life, than to hurry quickly to arrive at a wrong destination, to hurry quickly in a wrong direction of life. Many men are rushing to arrive quickly at the wrong venue. The greatest form of effectiveness is doing that you are supposed to do. And number 6 is about the greatest form of success. The greatest form of success is not amassing wealth, is not having more money, is not getting another car, is not, and so on and so forth, is not being so well known. The greatest form of success is fulfilling your assignment on earth, is fulfilling purpose. And then these other things will just follow. Let me tell you, a man who is pursuing purpose will never die poor. I dare you, a man who is on the path of purpose will never die poor, unless his purpose is to be poor, which cannot be so. The greatest form of success is fulfillment of purpose. So I hope you realize by now that purpose should come before many things that we focus on. Purpose should come before profession. Okay, you are becoming a banker. Why? Before you choose your profession, you should discover purpose. Purpose should come before papers. Before you go to study a Bachelor of Business Administration, can you first of all know what your life is supposed to be about for the long term so that you choose a course that is aligned with the big picture of your life? You realize that purpose should come before the wedding, before marriage. Because you see, as a husband, you are going to be the head of this family. And your wife is coming on board as a helper. The question is, she is coming to help you to do what? One of the biggest forms of frustrations that many women are facing today is being in a position of a helper to help a man who is doing nothing. Yes, it can be very frustrating. That's why you are supposed to be discovering a purpose before you even say, let me marry. So that you bring on board a wife who is going to help you in something clear. Then he can come and find that you are a man on a mission, so that now she walks with you that journey until death does you part. Before you set your New Year's resolutions, you should first of all have a clear purpose. Because out of purpose comes vision, out of vision comes mission, out of mission comes big goals, out of big goals comes objectives, out of objectives you can now make plans and have all those resolutions now for a month, for a year, and so on and so forth. But you're saying, next year, I want to do this and this and this, based on what? What is the why of that you want to do as a man, as a family leader? Purpose should come before profession. Purpose should come before academic choices. Purpose should come before the wedding, choice of a partner. Purpose should come before resolutions. So in the next very few minutes before we end this program, let me tell you how you can go forward and discover your purpose as a man, just in case you haven't. Number one, I would like you to ask yourself, what are some of the things that you love to do? Where is your passion? I am telling you, the Creator could never have given you that passion if it wasn't related to the reason for your existence. So start to probe around the things you're so passionate about doing, things that really take your heart. Number two, think in terms of things that you often excel at with a lot of ease, without putting in a lot of effort. Sometimes without even studying them. You find there is this something that you do with a lot of ease, with a lot of excellency, yet you never studied it, you never put in a lot of effort at all, but you excel at it and people know you for that. Maybe it is a clue on what your purpose on earth is supposed to be. Number three, if you want to discover your purpose, think in terms of what many other people have told you that you do so well. Especially that you didn't go to class to seriously study about. Because maybe you may be doing it so well just because you have put in a lot of effort and you have studied it. But there are some of those things that people keep telling you about, that you're so good at them, that you're so good at them. They say you're so good at speaking. Every time you speak, we feel empowered, inspired, and transformed. And you think it's just speaking? Maybe it has something to do with your purpose. Things that people have said you do well, quite a lot, for some time. Also, for you to discover your purpose, think about your pain. What deeply touches your heart? I often say that when passion meets pain, purpose is birthed. Let me say that again. When passion meets pain, purpose is birthed. Purpose is born. Where you find that you have this pain about something, I don't mean the physical pain that you say, my hand is paining. No, the pain of the heart. What often pisses you off whenever you see it? What are some of the things that make you angry on earth? What are some of the things that you feel like you just cannot tolerate? The pain. The things you feel you should do something about them, even when maybe you may not have the means for now. When passion meets pain, purpose is born. Think about those things that deeply touch your heart. But also number 5, to discover your purpose. Get on your knees and pray about it as a man. Men of prayer become men of impact. I am telling you, it goes back to what I talked about. That if you were to know the purpose of a guitar, you don't ask the guitar itself and say, so guitar, what's your purpose? No, you ask the manufacturer, why did you make this thing? And he would say, we wanted these strings, to make sound, and we organized them in such a way that once you put your fingers on the different frets of the guitar and you do some strumming, sound will be produced and you can have some chords. You can play key C, you can play D, you can play G. And so when you put them together, you will have an accompaniment for a vocalist. So it is to spice up the music. Beautiful. So even you will never know why you are on earth until you know who you are. And you will never know who you are as a man until you have decided to understand whose you are. Get on your knees and pray and let the Creator guide you so that you know what your purpose really is. To mention but a few. Now, once you discover your purpose, well, let me first share with you a personal experience very quickly. Personally, my purpose on earth is to empower transformational, exemplary, and authentic leaders worldwide. That's my purpose on earth. And I discovered it over a period of time, over a scope of 7 intentional years. I was on an intentional journey of curiosity to know why I exist. And I realized that from the time I was a young boy, I was always in leadership. From the time I was in elementary school, primary 3, became a class monitor. And from then up to today, many years down the road, decades down the road, there hasn't been a single year, not even 1 year, that has passed without me being a positional leader, a leader in a position. 98% of those times, it has been through being elected into those positions, and some other times through being appointed. And so I became curious, especially by the time I was going to the university for my first degree. I became curious. What is it about me with leadership? So I later realized that my life was not just about being a leader, but helping others to be leaders, and especially to be better leaders. Better in terms of transformational, exemplary, and authentic leadership. And so I started to equip myself. I got into training. I went for a second degree. Now that was very focused on that calling upon my life, on the purpose of my life. Studied a Master's of Arts in Organizational Leadership and Management. I later went and studied things in executive coaching, from Coach Masters Academy, Singapore, from Harvard Business School, and so on and so forth. I read books, I equipped myself, I went under mentorship of a number of leaders I trusted, and I started to hold the hands of many other people. Many years down the road, I am a leader of my family, who is a conscious, engaged, and involved father. A loving, caring husband. Yes, ask my wife. Somebody who is offering leadership to the fathers in the whole country by God's grace. A CEO of Inspired Leaders International, the umbrella under which I am empowering many leaders. I've equipped leaders, at Parliament of Uganda, Parliament of Kenya, National Youth Council of Rwanda, Microlabs, India, European Union, United States Agency for International Development, Government of Japan, Government of Netherlands, Government of Belgium, to mention but a few. Equipping leaders, I discovered it. So now I am a man on purpose. I am living a life of purpose. Every time I am in a position of responsibility, I know that while I am there, I have to be equipping other leaders, as I am fulfilling the mandate of that institution. And I have empowered many other leaders. So even you, as a man, live a life of purpose if you're going to be a great family leader. It begins from there. Once you become a man of purpose, then you can be able to have a purpose-driven marriage. And out of that purpose-driven marriage, you will produce children together. You will build a purpose-driven family. And if we could have as many of such families as possible, a purpose-driven family here, a purpose-driven family here, a purpose-driven family there, and a purpose-driven family there, we will have a village, a town, a nation that is on a mission, with the people on a mission. And who knows, we can finally start to see a world where people are not driven by money, not driven by politics, not driven by prestige, not driven by power, but people who are driven by purpose. And all these other things come as a means to the end, not the very end. Be a man of purpose. Once you discover that purpose, make sure you take action on it. Pursue it. It's not enough to discover it. Pursue it. Pursue that purpose. Continue to develop yourself, because you will never develop anything that is bigger than your own level of personal development. Be a man who is open to learning. Learn skills, get knowledge. Work on your character, because character can kill your journey of purpose pursuit. And continue to trust the Creator who created you to fulfill that purpose, to help you in achieving that purpose. Remember, it is not a purpose unless it betters humanity and it outlives your own life. Without a purpose, abuse is inevitable. If you don't get to know your purpose and pursue it as a family man, you will abuse your wife, you will abuse your children, you will abuse your neighbors, you will abuse your workmates, you will abuse your money, you will abuse your body, you will abuse your time, you will abuse your wealth. And at the end of the day, when your life is coming to the close, whenever that comes, whenever that is, you will look back and have a life of regrets. A life that is a life without regrets is a life lived on purpose. Let us go and be men of purpose. This has been the Inspired Family Leader Program with Samuel A. Bakutana. I wish you well as you go to not only discover your purpose as a man, but also to pursue it and live a purpose-driven life, so that your wife will have a purpose-driven husband, your children will have a purpose-driven father, your community will have a purpose-driven leader, and your nation will be glad that you are one of the citizens. Live, love, and lead.